Alright, in this video, I'm going to talk about loops in Python. So to start off with loops, let's just create a simple list. I'm going to call it healthy foods. This may be subjective, but I think they are. So I'm going to have walnuts, avocados, and then dark chocolate. So typically in the Pythonic way, you would do something like for I in healthy foods, and then you could do print I. So it'll just loop through every element in this list and just print out each element. So if I run it, you can see that it prints out avocados, walnuts, avocados, and dark chocolate. So in other programming languages, you don't have the luxury to have this simplified syntax. So what you'll typically do is have something like for I in range the length of healthy foods, and then inside you'll have print healthy foods I, and because it's a list, you need to have brackets to index. So if I run that, you'll see that it does the same thing, right? It prints out the 3 items. Okay, so that's the idea of for loops. You can also have nested for loops. So if I created a matrix using a list of lists of 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. So this is a 2D array or a matrix. And then if I wanted to loop through each element, I could have an outer loop for I. Since it's a square matrix, we'll just go by rows and columns. And then for j in range, you want to have a different variable for the inner loop. So I'm going to use j. And then we'll have matrix the length of the first row. So that'll get you your columns. And then if I want to print out each element, I will have matrix I. And then for each list, I will again index each element inside that list. So you'll have 2 brackets. So if I run this, you see that it prints out all the elements inside the matrix. Okay, so that's pretty much it for loops. And then you have while loop, which will go on forever until a stop condition. So you have I equals 1, for example, and you can say while I is less than 10. You could print I, and then I'm going to increment by 2 plus equals every 2 counts. So if I run this, you can see that it prints out all the odd numbers up until 10. And then you can also have infinite loop. So I'm going to reset my counter to 1. You can say while true. So because true is the condition that it will run is when it's true, and because I force the condition to always be true, it'll always be running. So I'm going to print something that says I, and then maybe get me out. Okay, so notice if I run this, it'll just keep going on forever. And if I increment my I, you can see the counter updating. So if I run this, you see that it's going to go on forever, right? So one way to get out of this is to have some sort of break condition. And in this case, I'm going to say if I equals 50, so by the 50th iteration, I want my while loop to stop, then I'm going to break out of it. So if I run this again, you see that by my 50th iteration, the loop have stopped. Okay, so that's it for loops in Python, and see you in the next one.